Good afternoon. Dear students, alumni, and guests, my name is Professor Grażyna Rębielak, and it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you tonight on behalf of our school, Warsaw University of Technology Business School. So, once again, warm welcome to all of you to today's inspirational lecture. I would welcome students and alumni of our university, Warsaw University of Technology, and in particular of our business school, but also our partners, our guests, especially from Sheffield Hallam University, Baltic Management Institute in Vilnius and in Brussels, Goa Management Institute from India, HEC in Paris, the Management Center in Innsbruck, Polimi Graduate School of Management Politecnico di Milano, the University of Salford in Manchester, Zicklin School of Business Baruch College, New York City University, and the University of Minho in Portugal. Today, the inspirational lecture will be delivered by Mr. Achilles Georgiu from our university. He's representing our school. Achilles is a lecturer at our university, but he's also an experienced business and technology practitioner with over 25 years of international and multicultural experience. He has worked for several global technology companies and currently is employed by the MOL Group, where he is the head of data and AI innovations. The topic he's delivering today is, in my view, very interesting. It's AI is not the ketchup we need to put on everything. Before we start, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you also for the next lecture, which we'll have next month on the 12th of February. This lecture will be delivered by my colleague from the University of Salford in Manchester, from Salford Business School, Dr. Jonathan Lord. The details about this event will be sent to you in the near future, so you will know the topic and you will also find out more about the speaker. But today, let's focus on Achilles. I want to wish you a great time with him, and I also would like to encourage you to ask him questions. After the lecture, you will have an opportunity to ask him some questions on chat. Well, enjoy the lecture, and Achilles, you are more than welcome to start your lecture.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Grażyna. Let me share my screen so you can see. I hope it's visible now. Yes. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for your time with me. Thanks for the invitation. It's really cool that I can talk about the topic which I'm dealing with on a daily basis, both on academic hand, but also in the business environment. I have now the opportunity to work about AI initiatives in a quite big organization to see how the business is transforming and how AI is kind of penetrating the every line, every business lines we are in. And the topics which I brought to you, obviously a part of this very attractive title, is to show you some examples and the way how how generically AI adaptation in the everyday work should be applied. And also a bit to talk about how we are moving from data-driven to AI-driven organizations in the future. So that's kind of the main stream, and definitely I'm very happy to answer any questions, so feel free to raise them in the chat. Let me start with a challenge which I'm facing on daily basis, is that I talk with a lot of business people, also in the company, but also outside, And I hear very often, let's do something with AI. Let's do miracles with AI. So the business need push towards the positive and attractiveness of AI is very, very in daily life everywhere. Also, on the other side, I see also another challenge when I talk with technology guys, my team in general, that, oh, Jesus, something new again happens. So this is on daily basis, we see new technologies, new opportunities from all around the world, and that's is changing our the way how we implement and how we introduce IT technology is in every way. I'm sure you have seen recently a report from MIT saying that 95% of AI initiatives are fail, and that's most probably for several reasons, and that maybe I will discuss a bit with you to show you how we can go beyond that, how we can turn into successful in a generic manner. So what happened a couple of years ago, it's more than 2 years now, the first ChatGPT boosted, and it was like a geyser popped up from nowhere, and everybody was kind of, wow, we had the wow effect, what we can do with that, how to introduce it in the organization, how to start turning it to the valuable. And what has changed in the last year, during the 2 years, and my belief is that those geysers in the future will combine, and the maturity of AI technologies has already reached to a quite high level that can be really applied to business initiatives. So this will work through like a tsunami across every type of business across the world. And this is the momentum where we are. This is not a hype. We are not over the hype. I was in a roundtable discussion mentioning that there is a hype and it's over. No. And personally, I do believe that we today still we significantly underestimate the possibilities of AI that can be bring to us. Let me walk you generically a bit. It's very hard to really decode what is behind. It's very easy to fall in love with the flame. But when I was a young kid in Greece, we have been during Easter, we were cooking lamb, and you need to cook the lamb for 8 to 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. You don't need flame, you need good coal. And this is the truth behind of AI, because it's very fancy, very shiny. Everybody immediately fell in love that, oh, we need to do this, we can do miracles. It's talked like a human, and let's implement it immediately. Let's see the value. Achilles, here is money. Do whatever you have, whatever you can. Just show us value and bring us results. Uh, so the reality is quite tougher. It's way behind. There's a question how long it will be the meeting. So I will be kind of presenting you some thoughts about 30 minutes, and you have the time for question and answering. But some of my thoughts are quite brand new, so you are the first among who will listen to them. So I don't exactly know how many minutes I need, but we will roughly be around 30 minutes in time. So how this goes? Many organizations can be considered data-driven. So to have data, to have insights from data, to start taking decisions. Technology there is an enabler. So we have various type of technologies that help us taking better decisions, and we can consider ourselves data-driven. Now we are in the step forward when organizations are in the transition to move towards AI-driven strategy. So the evolution in the business level is that how we can implement AI in a more mature way so that we can become more AI-driven. Definitely, this requires digital transformation, as we have been discussing in the last years. But because of the evolution and now technologies are mature enough, we need to be more cautious how we use these new type of technologies to enable more business value creation in general. The funny part is that from academic point of view, we already foresee what is happening behind of this. What is the future beyond that? And I will tease you now, but I will not tell it to you now. But at the end of my presentation, I will come back to this topic, because as a business leader, this is very crucial from one point of view. So if your organization is still data-driven, it's very good timing to move forward to AI-driven, because the technology, the overall evolution is already going beyond that. and something is coming. So we need to be catching up, not to fall, not to be staying behind. Generically, also in my organization where I work, but I have access to a lot of business people and peers and people working in the same area. I do observe that AI is becoming an integral part of business in general. Every business line is looking for possibilities how to introduce AI in the everyday work, like in HR, like in IT, or in finance, whatever. In all business lines, we have various solutions where we can introduce technology for changing the way how we run the business. When MIT was saying that 95% of AI initiative fail is mostly because the first AI technologies we touch upon are kind of chatbots or very basic things which can kind of enhance the individual in a form, but probably it's very hard to convert to value what the individual performance is evolving. The real value creation comes in the next steps, but I will tell you a bit later on. Let's show a funny example that when we introduce AR, AI to everything, so we blindly introduce AI, and let's introduce AI in HR, for example. So how we change the way how we work? AI is writing the job descriptions. It scans the profiles of people that they apply. Candidates are using AI to optimize their resumes to apply for the job. Then we have matching algorithms, mostly with AI, to find which resume fits with the best job. Maybe even sometimes AI assistants technology review, do the pre-selection, and also do the onboarding. It's funny though that at the end of the day, the real decisions is still made next to a coffee, and we see which person has more shining eyes. So we do transform the way how we do. This is, for example, one business line where we do an end-to-end transformation, but these might not be the best ways to transform, for example, the onboarding, the recruiting of HR. But definitely, we already see that the technology is transforming not only the internal process, but also the way the interaction, but also the people who are kind of consumers of the processes we are running through. One other area where I see a huge impact, and this is my top favorite one, definitely. I assume you remember this diagram or picture. It was kind of 20 years old, how we imagine a project. And it was quite complex. We had a lot of time, a lot of participations, a lot of people involved, engaged in the project. And the first reaction with the evolution of AI is like, let's introduce AI on all of this and throw it on like a ketchup. Definitely AI is not the ketchup we need to throw on everything. We need to kind of reinvent the way how we do and run the projects. And we already see, brought you an example, the AI technology can become an accelerator. It can help you not only on the business side, but also behind the stage, how you can speed up, for example, the software development, the evolution of new products and services. I don't know if you are aware of Lovable. This is one of my favorite AI tools, but there are many out there which can really help me kind of close the gap from understanding really the business need. For example, they want to kind of have very simple solution and within days or hours already be able to deliver the solution with low code, no code technology, which requires minimal effect or interaction from the human. We already testing, for example, in my team, these technologies. I have been discussing in various roundtables on this topic. How can we speed up? What is the percentage or the multiplier of speeding up, for example, software development with the help of technologies? Generically, I do believe the multiplier can reach even up to 8 to 10 times from compared to how we have been programming before. Nowadays, my team, but also the other people which I talk, in reality is around 2 to 3 times, which is already exceptional. So even that is extraordinary. But I already believe that there is a bottleneck beyond 8 to 10 times. For example, if you have a very good software engineer, he cannot oversee 8 to 10 times more. There is a point where we still need the human to be part of this activity, and it's very hard to oversee the many AI solutions working on how to convert an idea into a product. But generically, I do believe that with the technology, we can speed up a lot, not because it can create code quicker, but also because we can create prototypes, MVPs in hours compared to months or weeks. So I don't need the long journey how to convert the idea, the need, into a tangible outcome as we had to do it years ago, but I can simply prompt an AI and show the business this is what you want and validate the need and the requirement. Another topic which I was discussing with many people, and I'm very much on the other side of the table. A lot of consultants, a lot of people come and say, let's touch the most low-hanging fruits, let's start small and scale. We might not have the time. So it's not about the fruits which are low-hanging. We should be looking for the juicy fruits, which usually are on the top of the tree. I was a kid and we were collecting oranges every Sunday. The real juicy oranges are on top of the tree. So the sun is burning them. So this is a huge orange, more than half a kilo. It means that you need something to climb there and catch an orange. And AI might be even helping you how you can catch those real good AI initiatives. These are the juicy ones. So please don't underestimate the power of AI. It can really be a game changer in a sense. How we can introduce AI technologies in an organization, very roughly, what is the journey from moving from data-driven to AI-driven? I have collected the most basic steps here to show you. Definitely, we need to explore to understand what are the most recent AI technologies which we can apply. And then if we believe or it can be useful, then let's try it. Bring it in, do a POC, do a test, experiment in a sense. And if it works, then what we do also in our organization, we adapt. We look for a business partner, a business line inside the organization who could be a partner to adapt the technology into the transformation of the business. If something works in one business line, in one area, then definitely don't forget to scale it up, because the real return on the investment, the real value creation, can increase radically if you can scale it. For example, when you create your first chatbot, might take months, but once you have the knowledge, the experience, how to teach the chatbots, then the next one the follow-up chatbot teaching can be in a week or so. So there is a huge learning curve also for the internal teams if you have your own IT organizations within the companies you work with. But the real value creation comes after, when we move beyond of the question how we can enhance existing processes, like putting some fairy dust on top of it and speed them up, make it better, quality increase, time increase. That's definitely a goal. That's already could be tangible. It could be more than just enhancing individuals by writing better emails, being quicker, or reading emails, or summarizing meetings and so on. But definitely the real value creation will come once we are able to transform the way how we do business, the way how we run the processes. And how you transform it, the new way of thinking is that you need to take into consideration that AI exists, and it's like a buddy, a friend, or a tool, however you want to use it. And you need to kind of reinvent from scratch the business operations or processes, whatever, in order to really take the extra advantage of the new technologies. But how you can find these initiatives? Because my observation is one of the biggest challenge compared to years ago, when we wanted to introduce new technologies, was that Business owners, they had needs. They could specify exact needs, or they had a problem that you wanted to solve. So that's kind of easy because the business line can define what they would like to see or what kind of solution they would like to obtain. The biggest challenge now with AI, which I see, and that's on a daily basis, is many times the business line, the business people, they have desires. And they might not even know how AI can help, where we can introduce the technology. And that requires a much stronger collaboration between the technology teams and the business lines in order to find the proper way. How we do it? So, for example, when you have the line that business need or desire, and we want to convert to value. So we always measure the outcome in value. The value can be anything, not only return on investment, because I believe we should be moving away from return on investment, at least to move to ROTI, return on time or effort invested in something. Because with the AI technologies, we can squeeze the real cost to minimal, but on the other side, we might need to put a lot of time or effort in order to make something happen. And how we do it in our team, for example, we have business partners who are the kind of evangelists. They are taking the new technologies, whatever they hear, discuss with the business, they bring the business ideas into the team in the innovation cycle, as we name it. Then with the AI technology, we immediately jump on it. As I showed you before, we kind of test, experiment, create the first MVPs, POCs, check if something is working, trying to find what value it can deliver. And at the end of the day, we take it back to the business and implement it. One of the most important things is to have data, good enough data behind the stage, because if you don't have data, AI cannot survive in a sense. I did mention needs and desires. You remember I also mentioned problems. And that's a topic which I'm recently exploring. What happens when we have problems? So when we have problems, how AI can help us resolve problems. And this is an idea, a flow of thoughts which I want to share with you. But also I would like to use a metaphor. For example, one most simple problem is consider that you have a headache. When you have a headache, the simplest way to solve it is to take a pill and move on. But that's only the first type of problem, the most simple type of problem that we try to solve. And let me walk you through. I don't know if you're aware of the four types of problems. This is kind of following the lean approach that we have four different type of problems where we can need help. And AI can only help if we apply it properly. So depending on what type of problem we are focusing, we might need different type of solution. We have the simple troubleshooting when we have a headache, then we want to recover. The second is that we have some targets, but we are always underperforming. That's kind of problems that we have a gap we want to fill up to do better performance. That's also a kind of problem. The third one is that if you want to raise the bar a bit higher, so the traditional way. And obviously, the fourth one, if you want to find from scratch, when I mentioned reinvention, is that, okay, let's create something innovative and how to change the whole stage, how we work. Let me walk you through of these four steps and also share with you some of the AI disciplines usually we introduce to solve problems of each type. So for us, the first type of problem is the troubleshooting. When you have a headache, the most important thing is to come back to normal state, how we can remove headache, take a pill, move on. Yes? So AI already can help you a lot. So with the technologies in the business problems, you can have pattern recognitions, kind of finding based on historic data, what patterns, what is the repeated patterns or also solutions you can implement, like fast diagnosis, like a doctor, immediately based on identifying the deviations, seeing what's happening, then you can immediately react to that. And even matching solutions, okay, this pill would work, then the other time the other pill didn't work, take this pill and that, then you are okay. But also you need to be very cautious to avoid not the belief that AI will solve everything. No, we can not replace the human part. So the judgment it should be still with the human part. And at this stage, it's very hard still to apply kind of immediate, let the AI take decisions on its own. So this is normal state operation when we want to get back to normal as soon as possible and having the troubleshooting. The second is a gap from standard. And our metaphor is that I do take the pill, but every Friday I have a headache. So you have some repeated, so you couldn't find the real root of the problem, but with the first troubleshooting, then you need to apply different methodology that how we can find the permanent solution that removes the headache for longer term, and maybe understand why it is happening, why we have a headache. So here, AI technologies can help you with trend analysis, correlation detections. I will give you an example. I have this kind of, it's in the corner back there, health monitoring system, which immediately alerts if the CO2 goes very high, meaning that our oxygen in the room has fallen. Probably, and most commonly, when you have a correlation detection, meaning that if the oxygen level falls, you might get a headache. That's a correlation detection. AI for me, in this case, when you apply it on a business process, similar like this health monitoring system, that you can find the correlations, you can set alerts, and the AI can kind of be a triggerer. Or you have root causes. Help with the technology, you can find the real root cause that's behind the headache, and the AI can help you there. And in some cases, the root cause might be more complex. And coming back to our metaphor of headache problem, so even if I let more oxygen in, if I wear my smart ring, which is already my most recent smart ring, this is a kind of very new feature, already recognize patterns when human can have a headache. It can be even like not only analyzing the past, but maybe predicting a bit the future. But in reality, if we have deeper problem, which we cannot identify with easy solutions, we might need to go harder. It's like your headache might be, the root of it might be a tumor in your head. Sorry for the analogy. But AI is really good here when we need insight at scale, and we have good enough data to get insights to find the real root behind of the problem. So this is where we can really apply and implement AI solutions and technologies radically. The next level of troubleshooting is, let's say, we have a condition, we want to increase it to make it better. How do I improve the overall condition? That's the question. And for example, one area with this is more and more we use the digital twin. I don't know if you've heard about this approach, that in order to make hypotheses, to define scenarios, explore those scenarios, and run our experimentations, what-if scenarios, more and more we can use the technology to help us in a very low cost, still or manageable cost. Obviously, if you have something big, then it might be the cost of changing the reality might be very expensive. But you can create kind of digital twin, and you can also use the technology to run these what-if scenarios and do the experimentation with the help of AI. I don't know if you are aware of what does digital twin mean, so I brought you a very right definition of it, the simplest form to understand. If you have a physical object, it can be whatever, a factory or even a process. So the process can be also kind of considered, that's why maybe the physical object is not the best in this phase. Something that you want to create a copy, a digital map of it or model. Then the basic thing is that, okay, let's see if we can digitalize the object itself on a level where we can have a digital copy or model in technology and in a system. They have different layers of evolution. So when we say that automatically we can continuously reproduce the way how our physical object is working, then we can say it's a digital shadow. And at the point, the ultimate goal is to reach the level of digital twin, where we can for example, based on the insights we get from the digital object, or based on the outcomes of the experimentations or what-if scenarios, we can let the technology interfere with the real physical objects and change the way how it works. And here comes AI. So AI comes on that level where we can automate the data flow or also the decisions, and also AI can help us on each layer. So if you go back to the analogy with the human body, it's very simple that you have the human and you have a digital copy of the human. You need to test some things. You do it first on digital. If it works, you bring it back to the reality, medicine, whatever, exercise, or name it. The problem is, and the problem on business level is, that if you don't have enough data to create a proper digital twin of our object, process, whatever, then maximum we can reach a digital shadow. The shadow is also good for some kind of questions. You can see this is a male, it is a young fellow, but you don't have more good enough insights. And the problem is that if you don't have good enough data, though it can be increasing our confidence of stupidity, let's say, and we have convincing illusions that we confidently believe in something which is reality not the same. So as you see here, a shadow of a human can be a frog, so that doesn't mean that the object itself or the process is a frog. So we have to be very cautious, because if AI is trained on bad data, it becomes confidently wrong. And we usually blame AI for this mistake, but the root of the mistake is our mistake, our wrong assumption that AI can work even without data. We need to have good data underneath, under the hood, so AI can work. Before I close, let me show you also the fourth level of type of problem solving, which is, let's say, when the problem itself is unclear. I have no clue. I don't even know if I have a headache, but I have something to want to disappear entirely and to feel well. So this is the level when AI can reframe the problem space. And I will give you a very concrete example what I mean with this. So it can help you with sense making. You have a lot of technologies which can move you out of your human barriers in a sense. In my analogy, consider that you have Western and Eastern type of medical approach, yes? So remember, our goal is to kind of enhance or bring the human, the body, the head, eliminate the headache or whatever. So we have two different schools, and usually those schools, they don't talk to each other. We have Western medical school, Eastern medical school. The beauty with AI is that it doesn't belong to any schools. It doesn't have biases. It doesn't have preconceptions. It works on pure on data, and we can reach to a level where we can examine or define the future in combining things which, as humans, sometimes we are not brave enough to do. And this is a beauty where you go beyond of the limits. It's not just enhancing or replacing things you do, but brings new possibilities how you can really become even better in whatever you do. And how this is applied, for example, to closing the gaps. So I don't want to run out of time, but I have a few slides more. Let me skip through and jump here, which is important, I believe. So I assume you have seen part of this drawing, which is quite old. I kind of enhance it, bringing to the current reality. So when we don't know anything, we have data, but in reality, those data are not connected. So we need to connect the data. We need to understand the relations in order to become information. And then we go higher, then we learn from the data and the decisions, we convert to knowledge, and we want to reach to the wisdom. So how business decisions are made, we want to have as high level of wisdom as possible. And artificial intelligence can help you on the top of this pyramid. All other kind of disciplines which I mentioned here are required. So you need good basement. The data should be, the foundation should be strong in order to reach to the top of the pyramid, where artificial intelligence can help you understand better the overall situation. But still, even if it's based on good data, it can help you with an educated guess, and you humans need to take the decision. So it's like helping you taking better decisions, but many times we should not avoid, we should not let AI take decisions instead of us. So definitely that's the level where we want to reach. So this is a few thoughts about the different types of problem solving. And in the beginning, I promised you that I will show you what is beyond of AI driven. And I have few slides on this, and then already you can type in questions. I'm happy to see if you have. So let's close these thoughts. What is going next? So remember I mentioned data driven, we move forward to AI driven, and the future is about discovery driven. So this is where we want to digitally reinvent the way how we work. And we might reach to a point that we let AI to take the decisions to discover the future. And how and what does it mean? And this is an academic approach now. So probably most of you knows that scientific method. This is how you write your thesis, but also this is many times how we work in our job. We have observations, we want to raise questions, we do some research, look around for the various solutions or problems or whatever. Then we raise hypotheses. We want to prove the hypothesis with experimentations and test them, and then draw conclusions, take the decision, maybe even document the decision. This is how we work. This is how you write your thesis. This is how we do it today. With the help of technology, we already have reached an era which we can close the loop. So meaning that we can let AI release the dogs, who let the dogs out. So we can close the loops in a form that I will show you here, that we can count on technology in various forms. I have a typo there, sorry, hypothesis. It's a Greek word, but I miswrote it with English characters. So we have hypothesis, we raise ours, but when during the testing, for example, we can assign AI that, okay, whenever you find during the testing, do a new hypothesis. Or when you assess, when you create your report, when you raise your questions, initiate new loops. So in reality, because we have endless power of calculation power, we can initiate endless amount of loops. So for example, if I raise a question, how much, maybe AI will tell you that it is 30. Then I ask, what is how much? AI will tell me what is how much. What is 30? Then AI can tell me what is how much. The biggest challenge here is that we might not even be able to reverse engineer the answer, because it might have taken that during the testing, it finds so many new hypotheses, so many new questions, raise a accelerated scientific method in an infinite loop, like 2 million calculations to get the number 30. And you want evidences, but it's almost impossible, because to do reverse engineer those activities with AI has taken, you might need 2,000 years for a single question. And this is, I believe, one of the biggest challenges which we are looking ahead in the next decade. Not today, but this is coming in the future. That are we ready? Can we trust AI on that level? That sometimes we might not even know why and how the decision, or not the decision, but the educated guess was provided to us. It's very hard to dive behind this. So, can we trust AI? I believe we have an even more important question, is whether in the future we can afford not to trust AI. So I usually say that if you need to go to Mars, I rather rely on technology on that level that might do less mistakes than a human pilot, whatever, but because it takes so much time. But in reality, if we don't trust AI on that level, maybe our peers, competitors will do, and definitely they can take extra advantage. So my belief is that we are already knocking the door, that we cannot avoid trusting AI even in our business transformation. Having said that, I finished kind of the presentation. I'm very happy to hear and see your questions if you have, and definitely it's very exciting moment, because this is changing really the game, changing really the business environment on things on a level which we have never thought before. Thank you. So I see a question in Polish, but unfortunately, I'm not good in Polish. You could tell now that I could use AI to translate it. I can do it, but maybe if you raise the questions in English, that will be easier for me. Okay. That's, I assume it was recorded. I don't know. The IT team probably is recording it. Cool. If you don't have questions, I can show you this few slides I skipped. Definitely one is going to be interesting. So to give you an exact and concrete example from real life, where we can, let's say, the discovery-driven AI. And this is about chess. Uh, Dead internet hypothesis. We should ask AI on this. I can do it. Let me finish this loop first. So remember, I mentioned this that we have the discovery-driven AI, and one of the examples where we already see applying and successfully being mastering, let's say in this sense, is chess. I met one of the top players in the world a couple of years ago, and I asked, it was a lady, by the way, Hungarian chess player, Polga Judit, and asked her, how do you feel that already AI has overpassed you and you are already losing against AI or technology? And she said, Achilles, you're misunderstanding this because now we reached an era where I'm preparing myself to play against another human and I'm involving AI in the preparation. And and I see already, thanks for questions coming in. I will come back to those. Let me show you this story, close the story, and then come back to your questions. It's very obvious why she said so, because doesn't make sense to compete against AI in chess anymore. As you see, when it was in Deep Blue in 1997, it was when first time human lost against AI. So the curve shows the ELO, the measurement. There is kind of a rating system in how to measure the level of players. So if a higher ELO player definitely can win a lower one. And it was like, this is already 30 years so that the first moment when the technology overpassed human level. And since then, this is boosting. And you see that we have another curve changing in 2022 when these multimodal AI technologies are introduced. And already AI technology is kind of reaching the theoretical plateau. And you know how the curve is growing? It's not anymore playing against humans. It's mostly growing because the AI technologies are competing against each other, and this is how they are evolving now. So the game has changed. So AI has overpassed the human capability on this level. Yes. Okay, I get it. Thank you. And I come back to that. And so it means that there is no need anymore to play against humans, but still we can develop AI further by challenging or making them compete against each other to see which are the best solutions. Okay, I see questions now. Let's come back to the. So, what is the approach testing the AI solutions which are not predictable? I don't know if I understand properly the question, but definitely one challenge which I observe is that I mentioned here the multimodal AI solutions. It's very hard to take ownership and risks because when you have a multimodal AI solution, it might be that one software you get might use several AI solutions behind it, and you might not even be able to see which and how and which are trustworthy or not, who is delivering them. So that's definitely a risk people are taking of applying those multimodal AI technologies. And the AUAI Act very much defined the way how we should implement and how we should protect ourselves or educate even our people. So there are the regulation already gives hints how you can introduce properly in an organization an AI solution. Observability, how deep are you trying to understand what is in the background decisions that agents make? Yeah, that's the how we can take how we can understand what in the background of decisions that agent makes. I give you an example. We educate bots based on human knowledge, so knowledge bases or whatever. In a big organization, I don't recommend to have one single bot for teaching every knowledge you have in place or agentic bot. I would rather split it into disciplines, domains, tasks. For example, one task is the service desk request for specific things. The other maybe it's for HR. Because this form, if you separate those tools, agents, whatever is in the question you have, you can still test the way how they work. You don't test always how they take the decision. You rather test the outcome. If the outcome is valid, believable, trustworthy, because we already lost a game of the possibility of testing on the deepest level how the decisions are made. So the trust is built like always is built like even between humans. So you test the results, you test what you see, but you don't want to understand every level of how the decision was made, what is in the background. So we need to reach to the level when we decide only about the results, if they are proper or good. Today, we can still validate them because we still use old methods. In the future, that will be one of the challenges that we might not be able to hook back to reality to see what is and how the decision was made. Then the internet, that's AI learning from data generated by AI. Yes. Thanks for clarifying your previous question. Definitely, we create a lot of trash, digital trash, and AI is create. It will be one of the slowing areas when AI will slow us down, maybe in a bit in the future. That the digital waste, what we create, enormously amount of useless or not needed data that can be circulating back into the system. So that's one of the biggest challenges in the next decades. Today, I still believe it's not feasible, but if you check this ethically, morally, definitely that's one area where we have to decide what to do. Build responsibility in business to build real business case in area where other measures failed so far. So how to build responsibility in the business to build real business case in area where other automations failed so far. You cannot avoid checking why the previous automations have failed. When even today we talk about AI technology solutions, many times in reality we touch traditional kind of technologies, process mining or RPAs, robotic process automation or machine learning things. And if they have failed traditional cases, it will be very hard also to do it with AI, because if you don't have good enough data, AI will fail again. I give you an example. When we were educating an agent bot, the question without specifically, the asking that how much 2 plus 2, the bot was answering it's 5. And the business said, I don't want this solution, this agent, because its answer is wrong. And we have to show them, guys, the bot is answering correctly. The agent is correctly answering, but the data which is teach or educated, the original data was wrong. Obviously, when a human sees in the paper written 2 plus 2, it's 5, so they realize and they say it's 4 to the person they talk with. But the technology AI will not judge this. They just reflect what the data show or tell. Always the biggest challenge is to go back to the data, to clean the data, to make the data eatable or ready for AI. And that's definitely the same challenge as we have been facing before with the kind of automations that we have been applying. Maybe one area where it can be a bit quicker because we can use it also for during the development, so we can decrease the cost, and this way it can be not as risky as with the traditional where we had to spend months or even years to develop those automations, and then we realize it doesn't work. So that's area where we can implement. So I feel like we have the hammer AI, yeah, and we see everything for nail. Definitely, that's the biggest challenge. That's why I wanted to show you with these different problem solving solutions types. You need to know what AI solution to use where, and that's the biggest challenge. When people go to conferences, most of the AI providers, they will say, our AI solves everything. It's like miracles, like medical miracles they will do. In reality, they're not. And for example, with my team, we always examine that, do we really need the AI to solve this problem? I tell you that at least 50% of the problems or needs or desires which we are solving, we don't even engage with AI. We do touch traditional uh, methods and approaches. Uh, yeah. Do I expose this always? Do we always expose this to the business line? I'm not worried. If people like that, okay, if they solve it with AI SWAT team or whatever, they are happy we solved the problem. We should be looking always that is the value created, is the value perceived? If yes, then doesn't matter if it was AI or not. It's good to know what we use. Yes, you made a good point there, Antonio. AI is AI just for shaking. Uh, it's, for example, we go industry by industry. Let me stop the presentation so you don't need that. If you go industry by industry, for example, in the the banking financial sector is more advanced in some sense because they are purely built on data. Obviously, they can apply more the AI solutions. Areas where I believe we even ourselves we have industry implemented AI solutions well. Mostly is like in areas of pattern recognitions based on building on historical data, trying to see synergies, patterns, trends. So this way, or predictive maintenance looking forward. So how to schedule a big kind of maintenance plan, or these are areas where we already see, but these are not always pure AI. It's still more like traditional machine learning and traditional data science activities. But I believe we usually do combination of those. Those industries which are more advanced, like the financial or they have more already good solutions. For industries like the one I work, oil and gas, in many cases we don't even have enough data to work on. It was very interesting. I was in a conference in the summer, and we have been discussing there, for example, how to create patterns, benchmarks, or predictive models, or whatever digital models of the business. If we don't have good enough data, we need to datafy more to create more data in order to reach a more higher level of accuracy. And it was interesting to discuss that people were starting saying that why don't we share our benchmarking data between ourselves? Like competitors to start sharing the data, because maybe competitor A doesn't measure specific thing, they don't have data, competitor B has different data. If all competitors start sharing the data, then everybody can create a better model of the reality, and like even a digital twin or whatever, and then AI can work more successfully. This was one of the ideas which I'm very curious to see if it will evolve, because obviously we say data and information is money, and time is money as well. So when companies will be ready to give up part of the data or all of the data, or depersonalize the data and share the data just for the sake that they can also access common data so that AI solutions can work more properly. So that's an exciting moment because it's a very new way of thinking. So yeah. So in our case, where we apply AI, industrial, this really this is pattern predictive modeling, pattern recognition, trend analysis, definitely the agentic things, the basic things that, where big money is, where the big value on or outcome is those where we can really impact the way how a big factory, industry, whatever it works, how it works. Uh, Antonio, coming to your question, I had a very interesting observation recently. I was working with another university locally with data scientists, and since now industrial players are pulling on holding back, let's say, their energy. Years ago, they were kind of let's create models how we can optimize further and what to do more and produce more. Nowadays, they kind of use technologies, AI, machine learning, whatever, these data science tools for calculating what is the minimal effort we need. We still can survive without the need to shut down the factory, for example. It's not about how to produce more, but what is the level of production we can still keep alive, stay alive, because we don't have enough orders, but do some optimization there. So this was very interesting. I'm not saying I'm smiling partly, but this is very sad that many industries, many industrial players are having this challenge nowadays, mostly in automotive industry, whatever. So they have these challenges. Cool. We are close to on top of the hour. If you have one, two more questions, I'm happy to answer. I don't know how many people are still with us. I hope you get some insight. So I'm very happy to further discuss with anybody who is interested. In the last slide, I had my LinkedIn, but if you know my name, you can easily find me. Usually I say I'm accessible 24/7 with 15 minutes of proven reaction time. So if you have any thoughts, sometimes when in March I will be teaching in the university, I will be a day before there. If anybody would like to meet, catch up for a coffee, I'm happy to discuss further. So if no more questions, then I don't know if we are about to close or somebody from IT help me. Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, that was not a question, rather like a feedback. And yes, so you understand what I was observing and telling. It's pity though, yeah? It's very, very, yeah, okay. We should be more closing this more fun, not in a negative form. Okay, so I don't see more questions. I see that you are thank you and you got some insights. I'm very happy for getting that feedback. I really appreciate. I wish I could see you, but I don't see you. You only see me. So have a nice evening, and thank you so much for having me in this discussion and presentation. Thank you, guys.